Every time we say goodbye, they all see that it's a lie. 'Cause we always give it.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Masaki from State 483, and today we're going to be doing our Generation 6 Hero Guide. Generation 6 Heroes just dropped on my state about 2 to 3 weeks ago. And really, realistically high level, they're going to be at the 590% attack and defense for their respective hero troop type. Compared to Generation 5, that is a 100% increase, which is at max level. Generation 5, you get 490% attack and defense. So let's talk about the first hero, Martha. High level for military, she's just going to be great for, again, decreasing lethality of the enemy troops when she's attacking. What's interesting about Martha is that she does have her first skill, which is really, really cool. So her first skill works like this. It shoots in a straight line, and it can actually have a lot of potential for high damage. What you essentially can do is just shoot it, and it does have this drawback, which is it has to cool down for like 3 seconds. But in testing, I really don't feel the cooldown. It almost feels like it's nothing. In addition, this skill doesn't cost any energy, so you can kind of just use it as you like. In addition to that, her third skill, which is also really interesting because she has basically some stuns. Unfortunately, though, the issue with the stuns is that it does have to be in close range, which means I kind of get this feeling like she won't be that useful for stunning bosses, and I'll probably still stick to heroes like Miho to do the stunning instead. But it does have some potential, so I'm curious what the future looks like for this hero. Coming up next, we have Luca. So Luca is going to be your marksman / hunter hero. For military stats, he's just going to increase your troop health for when you're in a rally, which is, again, pretty useful. It's just going to be useful for when you're making those attacks. As far as exploration goes, Luca's second skill is actually really, really interesting. So every 10 attacks, he's going to be able to recover some energy, which at this point is about 13 energy when it's at max level. Now, currently there are no scouts or brawler that have skills that I feel like are very easily abused, where basically you're looking for something that's high cost, low cooldown, so you can use it frequently to do a ton of damage. Unfortunately, nothing like that currently exists. So, Luca's skill doesn't work the same way like Julie's, even though it has that really interesting potential. In addition to that, Luca's first skill is really cool too, because what it's able to do is it creates, basically, it's kind of like a grenade launcher, like RPG, like Daryl has, and it does a ton of damage in a wide range. But in addition, there are flames that stay behind for about 3 seconds, and those flames will burn any zombies that go into it. In addition, if he attacks anybody, and this is where he can combo the first skill with a third skill, that's basically on fire, they also can explode, which will do extra damage. I believe this was intended to be built as a kind of like AoE clearing skill. The unfortunate part is I don't see any need for that currently in exploration. Most of the time, we're looking to do massive amount of damage to one boss and not necessarily to kill a bunch of small enemies. So it's not really that useful. But his first skill, which does take a lot of energy, does seem like it has quite a bit of potential because it does do quite a bit of damage as well on firing. Oh, and one other thing is that Luca's first skill is really, really cool because it's one of the skills that can do direct damage to hunters of the enemy. So what I mean is when you're in a fight with the enemy, like, when you're marching, his first skill will actually do direct damage to the hunter. So you can kind of bypass the infantry and then do direct damage, which will be useful. Okay, last up, we have Jess. Jess is going to be your brawler or infantry hero. Jess is generally just going to increase your rally troop lethality, of course also helping with enemy settlement troop defense minus, which is nice because this basically allows her to kind of get double bonuses when she's rallying against settlements. Her skills wise, nothing super interesting pops up. I think her first skill is actually kind of interesting because what it's able to do is it's able to create kind of like a zone where she's going to block enemies out for about 4 seconds or so. Now, the issue right now is for most bosses, having the ability to push the enemies out and block them out from that zone is not really that useful. You're more likely looking for a way to stun the enemies instead. So for that reason, it's not that useful. But I can see for the enemy that has the basically the armor, where when the armor breaks, the enemy will run back. You could use that first skill to be able to push that enemy back a little bit further, and then kind of just do a little bit more damage while that's going. Otherwise, her other skills are pretty standard nowadays for brawlers, so there's not much that I'm super, curious about. Okay, so that's generally the Generation 6 heroes. Overall, I'm not super impressed with this set. Honestly, I would level up any specific hero, I would probably put a lot of frags into Luca. And I think Luca does have the most potential for long-term viability. However, I would have to see whether there are going to be heroes in the future that can really utilize his energy gain and combo with that. With that, this is Masaki from State 43. I hope you're having a great day and stay classy.
I just wanna be happy, happy.